Guts Blackpowder is one of my favorite Roblox games of all time. The teamwork aspect is amazing, if the team knows what they're doing, and the Left 4 Dead inspired gameplay is just chef's kiss. The game features a whole heap of maps that, depending on how ready your team is, can be either the easiest thing ever, or you could be the last one left, desperately trying to complete the objective while every zombie ever is hunting you down relentlessly, and so then when you realize how brutal this is. Anyways, one thing holds true. Some maps are harder than others, and today, I decided to rank all of them from easiest to hardest. Before we begin, however, I will have to lay down some basic rules. Number 1. The capability of a team will not be taken into effect. Any map in this game can become easy or hard depending on how good your team is, especially if you're playing on mobile servers. Number 2. Endless maps will not be accounted for, as they are never ending, and besides layout, they don't have that much difference in terms of difficulty. Number 3. Maps will be ranked in their current version as of making this video, which probably will be before the Catacombs rework. Number 4. Event and admin exclusive maps also will not be taken into consideration, because they are mostly joke maps. And number 5. This is just my opinion. Other people might find other maps harder or easier, so don't take this as a one-all be-all video. Just a general idea as to how the game plays. With that out of the way, buckle your seatbelts and let's begin! Leipzig is really short and easy, despite the fact it has every single zombie type. It's the only map that can be finished in less than 10 minutes. Maybe less than 5 with a really good team, though I've yet to see it. The only two slightly difficult sections are the carriage section and the holdout at the end. Otherwise, this map is a complete joke. Sappers can just block out the entire zombie spawns in the carriage part, which leads to barely having to deal with any zombies for the most part. Not to mention, the even remotely difficult part of this map, the holdout section at the end, is also extremely easy if a sapper is in play. All in all, this map, while I think it is very important lore-wise, is a complete cakewalk. This map honestly has a lot of similarities to Leipzig in the fact that it's short with not many objectives in it, although the map poses a bigger threat than Leipzig, seeing as the map is far more potent with its zombie placing and the volume at which it sends them out. The only two choke points of this map, the church and the dock, are simple and fair with their zombie placements, allowing for the team to easily destroy any zombie that comes their way. It's worth noting, however, that this is the only map that features no respawn points, so dying means you have to sit out the entire map, which can be detrimental to the team's overall survivability. Other than that, this map is simple. Once again, a really short map, barely surpassing the 10-minute mark. The only difficult sections are the holdouts in the catacombs and at the bridge respectively. The holdout in the catacombs, while not as long as the finale, involves you fighting in a cramped space where zombies flood in from either two entrances. Speaking of, the finale of this map features every zombie type as well as a lengthy holdout against the undead. Although the open nature of the map allows for easy sniping of any of these zombies, not to mention the support of the two cannons. In conclusion, a semi-short map that offers some challenge to the team but can be conquered without trouble more often than not. Despite the fact San Sebastian is one of the longest maps in the game, it really isn't a hassle. Although I'd say the Hey Bel Crescendo and the finale can be surprisingly tricky, with the former requiring about a quarter of the team to do the objective, and the latter being on the longer side of holdouts with an extremely cramped space at that. For that reason, I'd say it's harder than Catacombs, seeing as it also uses more diverse zombie types throughout the map, especially when it comes to cuirassiers and igniters. In fact, I'd say that this map and Kaub are, in my opinion, the only two maps where igniters pose a serious threat, due to the enclosed nature of the holdout sections not allowing for players to easily dodge the flames, especially in the town part. although water buckets do shut them down just as far as they do on any other map, so in the end, it's not that bad. Many people perceive Berezina as a hard map, but it's not that bad. It's more tedious if anything. While I do think it is a tense struggle to both hold out against the oncoming hordes of zombies whilst trying to repair the bridge all while you're freezing to death, it isn't all that bad once you get the hang of it, if you can overlook the length of the map. I mean, to me at least, the map feels a bit monotone because it revolves around getting the logs from the carriage, building a bridge for a couple of minutes, then retreating inside the church when the horde arrives. It all just blends in at some point. Really, the only reason most people think it's hard is because the team tends to split up a lot, which is what the map is constantly pressuring you to do with the cold. This allows for the team to be easily rushed down by the zombies due to a lack of firepower. In the end, however, proper team play can easily bypass this. Kaub is surprisingly hard for its length. Common choke points include the resource gathering, mostly the water and weapons part, due to the cramped size of the play area allowing for zombies to corner people easily, as well as the barrier crescendo. Hell, I'd say the barrier part is one of the hardest crescendo events in the entire game, requiring some sapper input and heavy team coordination, as well as the use of crowd control tools like charge or the crucifix for the team to prevail. Lastly, the finale, which, especially when the hordes of runners arrive, requires sappers, as not having them is a death sentence. All in all, a short but potent map that requires your team to be on the lookout for anything and everything, although it's something that is in the realm of possibility most of the time. Technically 2 maps, but I'm putting them as one here, because I believe they were originally intended to be together. It is the longest map in the game. Despite the fact it has no cuirassiers, the amount of bombers seen in this map is ludicrous. In some spots, like in the finale of London, the bombers can become downright oppressive. Many choke points are dotted around these 2 maps, those being, in the order of which they are presented, the bookstore. Common skill check for many lobbies, where those without much experience of the map tend to lose here, not to mention the insane amount of bombers for what is meant to be the first crescendo of the map. The sharpshooter tends to get a lot of people, and without a surgeon it means certain death. I suggest the surgeon hold this one out and let the rest of the team handle it, in case the surgeon gets shot and nobody can heal from their wounds. The brewery. The amount of bombers here is ungodly. Seriously, it seems like one spawns every 1 to 2 seconds. Like you kill one, another instantly spawns. Getting the board. Due to the fact a single person is being forced to go far from the team to do the objective, it allows him to be rushed down by pretty much anything. For that reason, this section requires a lot of teamwork and, more importantly, good aim, which for some reason my teams always lack, but that's besides the point. The broken wheel part. I don't know why, but so many people die either from getting eaten alive by shamblers or tackled by runners here, so I'd personally keep a charge order or a crucifix at the ready when arriving at this part. Also, this part always tends to waste a lot of the team's time, and it often leads to them having little to no time when they arrive at the bridge. Seriously, I've seen some absolutely toe-tickling moments here. Anyways, TLDR, extremely long map that has its fair share of choke points but can be consistently beaten with a skilled team. Copenhagen is one of those maps that looks difficult when you first boot up into it, and after playing it, you realize it actually is pretty difficult. While not as oppressive with the bombers as London, Copenhagen still has a lot of them. The claustrophobic map design mixed with objectives that constantly split the team gives a constant feeling of walking on eggshells. Though I do have to say that besides the bucket part, which I believe is one of the hardest choke points in the entire game, there aren't any overtly difficult sections in this map. Also, it is the most generous objective map when it comes to respawn waves, having up to 3, mostly 2, whereas every other map has around 1 or 2. Sappers are only really mandatory in the crescendo event when you begin fighting the British, otherwise this map is doable without them. In the end, while this map will need some adjusting to, you'll eventually get the hang of it and be able to beat it consistently. A rather long objective map, filled with varying environments and also tight choke points where you could expect your team to die, especially considering how many bombers there are. Sappers are mandatory for the church and ship parts, which both have a very large number of zombies. Crawford isn't that big of a deal as long as you remember to cover him after blowing up the wall and make sure he doesn't die in a stupid way, like him going inside the water for some reason, and even if he does die, it doesn't impact the game that badly, at least gameplay wise. This map, however, mostly the ship part, received several nerfs throughout its release due to the aforementioned ungodly amount of undead that appeared during it. If it wasn't for that, it'd easily be number 1. Before we get to number 1, I have to do the obligatory ranking video cliche and include some honorable mentions of maps that didn't make it in the list, but I still feel are worth mentioning. Classic Vardøhus Fortress. I feel like the Vardø we have now is about 10,000 times better, having gone from a 7 out of 10 to a more of a 4 out of 10 in difficulty. Road to Sleepy Hollow and Sleepy Hollow. Really short maps that don't pose that much of a threat, although the Headless Horseman can be ruthless at times. Transylvania. Similar story to Sleepy Hollow. And last, but certainly not least, Jutland Defense. I miss you. The hardest map in the game, no doubt, goes to St. Petersburg. Incomparable in length to any other map, this one, even when played optimally, takes longer than any other map in the game. You'd think that because of that, it'd be about on par with Berezina in terms of difficulty, right? Hell no! This map is extremely difficult and being able to beat it is a Herculean task. And don't even get me started on Deathless. I still don't know how I managed to get it before I even hit 100 hours. Having sappers is practically non-negotiable. In fact, I'd say good luck trying to beat this map if you have less than 2 of them. Trust me, you will get your ass handed to you. There are 3 main choke points in this map that you need to watch out for. Wave 3. Common skill check for your team. I don't know why, but the difficulty seems to suddenly ramp up from the introductory waves of 1 and 2. Maybe it's because the darkness of the night starts to appear? I do have to say though, if you can pass this wave, the next ones are honestly a breeze. Until... Wave 8. The Cuirassier wave. Pretty self-explanatory. Even if you make liberal use of the cannons, which you should, and even bought the artillery fire, you're gonna have to either learn to dodge the Cuirassier charge, or wear the cuirass yourself to avoid getting crippled. Good luck trying to play without it. I recommend at least 3 surgeons in case one gets crippled by a Cuirassier, which more often than not is inevitable. And last but not least, Wave 10, the finale. Pretty self-explanatory again. Last part is probably the easiest, however, despite the comedically large number of runners. Assuming they don't get shredded by artillery fire, sappers and knock-guns, or just the seamen in general, can shut them down instantly. Though that doesn't mean the rest of the wave is easy. Far from it, actually. The amount of zombies is immense, and the Cuirassiers, while not as prevalent as Wave 8, are still numerous. TLDR. This map is immensely difficult with many choke points and will require a team with a somewhat deep understanding of the game to beat it. And that's the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully by the time I'm done making this video, the new update hasn't released yet. With that said, I am excited about the new Scandinavian map and the new Holdout map. One more thing. I know I've been away for a while, but as you might have seen from my community posts, I was heavily focused on my finals and application into university. But now that I am done, I will hopefully be able to release some videos, which, if you're reading this, I have. As of currently, I'm planning on making a video about Quake, which until very recently I had never played before, and also some other videos of this style, so let me know if you like this one. But anyways, that's all from me today. So bye, and see you next video.